We've all been there. It's the 20th of the month, you open your banking app, and your balance is, let's call it, uncomfortably low. And then the notifications start rolling in. Your best friend's baby shower is next weekend. And oh look, your sibling's birthday's on Tuesday. You look at your budget, you look at your bank account, and you realize the math ain't mathin'. So what do? Do you buy a cheaper baby shower gift and feel like a bad friend? Or do you skip on groceries and live on instant ramen for a week? Or do you finally pull the plug on a streaming service even though it's the only thing that's been keeping you sane after a long week? A listener recently asked me this exact question. How do I know when to cut from things like gifts or groceries or a luxury item like streaming? Today, we're gonna end the guessing game. I'm gonna give you a 3-step framework to end the budgeting shortages, so you never have to choose between feeding yourself or celebrating a loved one. Let's start with the immediate pain point, gifts. The reason gifts cause such a pain point for our budget is because they're kind of unpredictable expenses. They spike and then they disappear. Some months you have 3 birthdays and a wedding, and other months you have 0. If you're trying to budget gifts on a month-to-month basis, you're gonna lose. Instead, we're gonna use our financial superpower called the Budget Blueprint True Expenses. A true expense is just a fancy word for saying an expense that you're gonna save a little bit every month for until the expense arrives. Here's how you build one in 60 seconds. First, grab a piece of paper and write down every gift expense that you're gonna have in the next year. Birthdays, weddings, every event that you can think of. Then assign a dollar amount to every event. And let's be honest here, what are you honestly going to spend on those gifts? And then third, divide that number by 12. So if your total on all those gifts is $600 and you divide it by 12, that's $50 a month. Now, instead of guessing, every month you're gonna assign $50 to your gift budget line. So when July rolls around and you have 2 birthdays in the same week, you don't panic. And you don't cut from your grocery line either. Just use your gift budget line and you can walk into that party stress-free. You have already paid your future self to fund those gifts. But what happens if you're truly in a pinch? The true expenses is great for future expenses, but what about for right now? If you don't have enough money to cover everything today, what gets cut first? To solve this, we use the Budget Blueprint categories. Every one of our expenses falls into one of these categories. Category number 1, your immediate obligations. These are your non-negotiables, and they don't really vary from month to month. This is gonna be like rent and utilities and a car payment. You never cut these items to buy a gift. If you are choosing between a baby shower gift and an electricity bill, the electricity bill wins every single time. Category 2, your adjustable expenses. This is where you're gonna find things that you actually do need, but the amount of money you spend on them varies drastically by your behavior and spending habits, such as groceries or dog food. We don't want to look here to cut things. Then in category 3, that's where your true expenses are. These are your upcoming one-time charges or more infrequent charges. They are real, they are coming, and you need to prepare for them. But don't cut from here unless it is a true emergency. Preparing for the infrequent charges is what keeps a budget actually functioning long-term. So that brings us to category 4, the lifestyle design. This is where we look first when we need to cut. These are your luxury and convenience items, such as streaming services, dining out, gym memberships, shopping. You don't necessarily need to cut these to 0, but you trim them dramatically based on what's left over after the first 3 categories have been funded. So let's answer our listener's question directly. If you are trying to fund all of the line items in your budget, how and when do you choose between cutting groceries, streaming, or gifts? Here is your decision matrix. 1. Pause the streaming services. It is a lifestyle design category. It is a luxury. If you are struggling to fill your budget lines or you are short on cash, pause it. You will survive on YouTube or reading a book for 30 days. Work on prioritizing the line items within your lifestyle design category. If you are currently in debt, the first step to getting out of debt is stopping the bleed. So if you don't have enough cash to fund your full budget, you are going to need to cut things from the lifestyle design category. Number 2, get creative with the gift. If you still need money, don't skip the baby shower, but maybe don't buy your $50 gift either. But instead get creative. Buy a $10 children's book that meant a lot to you growing up and write a heartfelt message in it about why that book meant so much to you when you were younger. Or offer to show up early and help decorate. A good friend should care more about you being there than about your present. Step 3, optimize the groceries, but do not starve. You have to eat, but there's a massive difference between steak and rice and beans. If you have to cut from groceries, do not skip meals. You can downgrade your ingredients for a week. Meal plan strictly, or how about eat the leftovers that are in your fridge that you never want to eat? Budgeting isn't about suffering or being a bad friend. It's about alignment. When you use the true expense calculator, you take the surprise out of giving. And when you use the hierarchy of cuts that we went over in this video, you take the guilt out of prioritizing. Next time you feel that budget squeeze, take a deep breath. Protect your immediate obligations and adjustable essentials. Pause the subscriptions. And remember, your peace of mind is worth more than any store-bought gift. If this video helped you make sense of your budget, please hit the subscribe button. Also, which category do you find is the hardest for you to cut from? Budget better, live freely, and I'll see you next week.